Uh, it's just Jordan. Hey, shut up, you bucket head. Haha. Get it? Guitar Hero 2 reference. Everyone used to be obsessed with Jordan. Well, I mean, Jordan seems like a girl you would kidnap. Oh, don't joke about kidnapping. It's like we literally joke about people being beaten to death, murdered. Oh, kill your wife, that's normal. But God forbid if I say kidnap a Jordan. Look, I've never kidnapped someone, but I would assume if you do, probably kidnap, someone who has a basic name. Like you can't kidnap someone named like a Zenith. I don't know why I was thinking Zenith. I think that's like a television, TV, building, sound company. Sounds pretty. I don't know why I think it's Zenith. For some reason, I think it's Toy Story. I don't know why. We bring peace. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I guess I should just dehumidify that because I just dehumanize anyone with a normal, basic name. Sorry to the Jordans out there. I don't know many Jordans. I know people that wear Jordans. And I know Jordans can sometimes be overpriced. And a lot of people have issue with Jordan, and his political beliefs, how much money he makes. You know what? If I made as much money as he did off of the way Jordan and Nike made money, you know what? I'd probably be siding with a few things too. We all just side with things that benefit us. And it's also dumb to just say a political affiliation automatically assumes you roll in one specific ways. It's just a general way of saying like, hey, this person, most of the people who think like me kind of think on this side. But you know what? This is not the political show. I do not talk about politics. Which, what is politics? Politics is just a simple term that it's a buzzword. Like if you put in a headline, everyone's into politics. Like it'll show up in your keyword search and shit. Politics is just government shit. That's what we think about. We think of voting, governors, president, Senate, House of Representatives, passing bills, Congress. But there's politics all over the place. I remember growing up, especially when you play sports, there's always quote unquote politics, right? And politics is really just, I guess, preferential treatment. Like in sports, it could be, the coach is playing someone else because, they're friends with whoever, and everyone knows that kid sucks ass. It's like he let 9 pass balls in the past 3 innings as the catcher. He can't catch anything past 16 miles per hour. But you keep putting them back there just because, you get drunk with the dad and cheat on your wives on the weekend. That's why not long after, the wives stopped showing up to the games. And it seemed like that Saturday was the only time you got to spend time with your kids. It's amazing what the legal system can do for you. But the word politics, right? I know I didn't do my due diligence before the show where I looked up politics. Just read a stationary dictionary definition of what it is. Because when you're going out in the daily world, no one's in there. Politics. And everyone thinks about the same thing. It's just government shit. When you go on USA Today, ABC News, CNN, Fox News, any of these quote-unquote websites that cover the election, the obsession with the election is kind of crazy to me. People are obsessed with counting other people's votes. I understand, like, everyone has this endeavor venture for the obsession with who's our president, not really realizing that the president has very little amount of power, of their actual power. I mean, they could override, they could veto things. But even when they veto things, there's still a process. They still kind of put it through, even if they veto. It's really, they're just a figure. They are just they're really like the speaker. They're just the person that just takes all the blame and gets credit when it's undeserved, maybe. That's all it is. Politics is just about putting someone to be the figure. When you think of this, you have a figure. It's like when you think of an organization, and they always do that in sports. Like there's a very reason, like it's important for the quarterback to be a certain demeanor, to have a certain presentation, to present themselves well, to not put the team in any unnecessary controversies. So when you think of the Patriots, what do you think of? Tom Brady. You don't think of Bailey Zappi, I could tell you that. Well, I guess you would think of Belichick, but you think Brady, Belichick. That's the figure of the organization, and one of them's not even in there anymore. When you think of the Ravens, you would think common John Harbaugh, and now Lamar Jackson, right? When you think of the Colts, you think of Peyton Manning because of his influence on the organization. When you think of baseball, what do you think? Baseball's a little more tricky, right? Like you have longtime players for great teams or for organizations, but they weren't necessarily the greatest players, but their impact, their consistency. Like Cal Ripken Jr. was not one of the greatest quote-unquote players of all time, but he quote-unquote Iron Man because he was there every single day. When you think of the Orioles, what do you think? Cal Ripken Jr. He may not even be the best player in Orioles history, but he is the most noticeable player in the Orioles history. And you can go down the list in any sport, when you think of the Cavs, LeBron James, no questions asked. Lakers, you have LeBron. Well, I won't even really say LeBron like in the history of the Lakers, but right now he's like the figure of the Lakers. When you think of the Lakers, you think of Kobe. Think of like Kareem, Jerry West, And Kareem didn't play for the Lakers his whole career, but he's an all-time great. But the point I'm trying to make is that politics is just a general term that is used as a buzz. It's just a buzz term to get people going. You attach the word politics to anything, and it automatically becomes a divisive opinion. And that's why I don't give two fucks about it. Because it is not real. None of it is real. All this shit is real. There's politics everywhere in this life. You got to deal with it. There's going to be preferential treatment all across the board, whether it's in your own family, whether it's in your workplace, whether it's, you go somewhere and you're at a buffet for 4 hours and they say there's a 2-hour limit and they don't say nothing to someone who else is there for 3 hours, but they say something to you there because you're eating all the steak at Golden Corral. Which, by the way, the buffet I have learned recently. And I've realized, the younger I was, I didn't understand, how do these places make money? Buffets actually profit. I think they have a higher profit margin than a lot, or I think it's the amount of food consumed is actually less per plate at a buffet than it is most standard American restaurants, we'll just say. Because the way they have everything set up, they have the breads, they have they put certain carbs and foods in certain parts of the buffet that people will go to first. So you will, here's yeast rolls here, here's this here, pizza here. They get you scarfling down. The low-cost food, the stuff that it's easy to fill you up, they're always on top of refilling your drinks most of the time. I mean, it's really the only thing they have to worry about, right? It is always kind of weird. People have this divisive opinion about, should you tip buffet servers different than dine-in servers? I don't know. I think you just tip the same you would across the board. Always tip what you feel is accordingly to the service you've gotten. That's up to you. It is a decent conversation because, no, they're not bringing out the food, but they're staying on top of cleaning your table with plates, making sure things are in order, refilling your drinks every 5 minutes. And buffet customers could be some of the most obnoxious people, too. Let's just be real about that. Because the weird with buffet, there's a weird entitlement where it's we are here to capitalize. And if we're not getting, if the simplest things are being done, then what's our experience, But yeah, that's the thing about buffets. Like, oh, I'm only paying $15, and you realize you don't even eat that much. Like, people don't really eat that much at buffets, at least in my experience. No one's really getting 5 to 6 plates like in my prime, man. Like, I say my prime, like it was like my LeBron 07 through 2013 prime, like 28 points in one quarter, 28 straight points against the Pistons when they were good type of quarter. Like in my prime, I was getting prime, But it's like at these stations, like at the steak station, any meaningful meat station, they have someone carving it up to limit your portions, right? It is kind of like, say, like, oh. And they do all that, and they find a way to make it. Because let's just say 85% of customers aren't going to actually eat as much as they pay for the buffet. When you consider that the desserts that are cheap to make, blah, 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 a lot of things are pretty standard. But yeah, I've gone way too long on a very serious intro. I went from politics to the buffet to the politics of a buffet, and now we're in the buffet of politics. I think that's the name of this episode. Buffet of Politics. I actually should write that down, but yeah. All right, welcome to episode 247 of the Off-Beat Podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button. Most important, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to suck some titties. Yeah. Recording this on New Year's Day, January 1st, 2023 at 10:10 p.m. Eastern. Yes, we're back at nighttime for the podcast because I am fucking dedicated making this a consistent podcast. I am not into the sorry, I'm just typing in something real quick. All right. Yeah, I'm not into the New Year's resolution stuff. I think I've talked about that plenty of times before. Before I continue, today's drink is Ghost Sour Green Apple Warheads. You get these at your local Quick Trip, 2 for $5.50. No, 2 for $5. And they're better than C4. But yeah, I'm starting to feel that the more I drink this sourness, I don't feel the same zing zang. But you can still give me that orangutangatang. Yeah. But I'll arrange a little entanglement. So I guess Jada really does operate like orangutans because she likes entang. All right. I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, I'm not into big New Year's stuff. I'm not into New Year's resolutions. I think a lot of that is just people hyper standing their goals for the year without really thinking about what they really is. Just something like, oh, I've got to have something or otherwise I'm going to be directionless. But for me, my only goal for this year, I'm just going to put it in stone. You know what? I got to hold myself accountable. I want to start averaging. I'm going to give 6 months. So I think you should do 3 to 6 months. So by 6 months, by June, I guess we'll just say June 15th, right? That's like 5.5-ish months. By June 15th, I'll file my taxes by then. Life should be good. Credit card debt should be paid off. If not, I'm in the hole. My goal is to average 500 plus views to get up to where I'm consistently for a period of time at 500 views an episode, right? And I've never put a whole lot of time into the editing of the video version. The main focus for this stuff's audio, but sometimes you gotta speak into existence. You gotta take the shit seriously. But I'm in a quote unquote, I'm in a space, but I'm in a place and space to make sure your heart doesn't erase. And I've noticed gradual build when I am doing this consistently. So that is why I'm very constant, urgent of doing as many episodes of this as possible. Because the only way you get better at stuff is by doing it. And being in the algorithm, posting consistently is more than important. Might have to change my approach in making things more algorithm friendly. Not trying to be too clever with titles. Being one of these basic ass cringe alert warning going off the rails. But you gotta have a way. I think one of my biggest concerns is this show gaining a certain knowledge or fan base while people are creeping from the outside looking in. But one of my biggest fears is, and I think one of the worst things that would happen to me that would make me not enjoy doing this shit or make me enjoy not doing is getting in the door the wrong way. I want to be able to kick the door in like, Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction and say, motherfucker. I don't think I can actually say what he said in the movie because it's Pulp Fiction. He said a lot of words a lot of times, like at a record-breaking level. I think Pulp Fiction is like one of the most cursed word movies in like the past 30 years of cinema. And then there's always this controversy of Quentin Tarantino writing. Like, think about when he's writing these movies. He's actually writing down these words. Like, he's telling a story, but people always like, oh, so you just kind of capitalize on this. And it's like, yeah, but have you seen it? This shit's good. Samuel L. Jackson's like, keep giving me these paydays. But, I do think it's important to stay authentic to who you are to delay the winning process. I think a lot of people hop on trends, and I don't mean trend, the stuff that, makes your back, get acne and shit. I mean the type of trends that people hop on that will get them a few more viewers and subscribers. But then once they do that, now you have an audience. They expect a certain thing out of you. And when you don't want to do those things, then you're one of these asswipes that just react to the same shit all the time. And that's what you have to do. Otherwise, no one's going to they didn't join you because of you. They joined you because of all the stuff that you're doing like everyone else. So, I think you would rather have 20,000 fans that are there because of something that you are willing to do every day or do all the time than to have 200,000 people who watch you. But you have to do stuff you don't really give a shit to do all the time. And you have to stick to a formula. You can't really do what you want. But, what do I know? I'm just an asswipe with a Super Rosario shirt. Like Wander Franco. I don't prefer minor girls in the Dominican Republic. But, a viewer's a viewer. I don't age restrict. And neither does R. Kelly, Josh Giddey, or Wander Franco. If they were to make a YouTube channel, they would actually have to put age restriction because they would be, what is it called? A sex offender? How is that? If you're a sex offender, do you have to put age restricted on YouTube? Yeah, YouTube, answer that. Put that in your algorithm. And that's the real hard questions. Do they really just protect? It's weird. YouTube's a weird thing. There's literally be videos of the title saying, YouTube is fucking us all over as you're posting it on there. That'd be like someone coming into your house and be like, your house fucking sucks. And writing it all over your wall. And then you just keep making money off the shit that they're saying on you, It's like YouTube is like, you realize without us, you're gonna be one of these assholes on Rumble, and like there's only 3 people that actually make money on that shit. So go ahead, post your 120 gigabyte fucking video on there. See how many people will subscribe to your channel without our algorithm. Go suck a dick. That's what. If I was YouTube, that's what I would tell. I'd be like, you know what? Go the fuck ahead. Leave YouTube. Leave this free marketing tool you have because you don't like something, right? And I'm not a big fan of all this stuff. I'm not sucking YouTube's dick. I mean, if they want to promote my video, I don't know, Now, literally, see, that is not what I would want to do. There are people out there, and I guarantee you, there are people that are so desperate for a quick rise that if you were to tell them, hey, if you suck this person's dick, guy or girl, either or actually, either side of the fence, if you went from having 100 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers overnight, your show, whatever you got going on here, will be pushed through the algorithm. It will be automatic growth, and your payday goes through the roof. A lot more people would take that deal. But not me. I will struggle and kill myself in silence. I'm kidding about half of that equation. But yeah, that's the thing. Never suck these corporates' dick. They can always replace you, and they will be fine without you. It's like these people that want to rage quit their jobs. Like, I came across a video earlier. There's this TikTok trend called Quit Talk. Quit tickety talk, make the booty drop, make that pussy pop pop. I think it's basically this trend on TikTok, which I don't know is really a trend. I think people have been posting their work outlandish tiredness for a long ass time. But it's where people are actually recording themselves calling their boss saying, this is my last day, all this stuff. And talking about, I quit the corporate life, I'm free now. And they're still the ones making videos 6 months later of life after quitting my job 6 months ago. And they're like, it's been really hard. And, which, by the way, if you're unhappy, you should do what you want to do. I'm all for it. Quit everything you want to do. But you also can't be making videos when you voluntarily quit something and be making videos of you crying about, I just did what was right for me, and like I'm just struggling. So if you guys can go to my GoFundMe, because I quit my $90,000 a year job because I wanted to be at peace. The GoFundMe, the crowdfunding, that shit's always weird to me. Asking for money when it's not like a very tragic situation, like funerals. A child unexpectedly dying, someone raising money for cancer they can't, that's makes sense. That's, I think, what it's really supposed to be. Not people like, hey, I'm kind of tired of my vehicle. Can you guys contribute $5,000? All I need is $10,000 so I could trade this in and make a profit, flip my house and do all this. It's like, no, get it, save some money, invest it, get a job. I don't know what to tell you, man. But that's the thing. People make this shit because people contribute to it, right? But anyways, quit talk. So it's this trendy thing to just brag or make video about you making that decision and following through with it, which I guess it's motivational. I guess it's like a motivational, like, hey, you know what? Don't let the world dictate what you do, right? It's like, but some of them are like lame, thinking they're doing something crazy. Like, you put in your 2 weeks thinking like you're some badass. Like, that's not that doesn't do anything. You're not really quitting. You're like, I'm going to do it the right way just in case I want my job back. No, that's not quitting. leaving to potentially come back because you know that I made it. Quitting is saying, I don't give a fuck what happens in my life. I am not coming back here. That's quitting. Meaning, fuck this shit. That's quitting. Not this cowardly like, oh, I'm going to do it the right way, all respectfully. No, you just drive out that bitch, tell someone to suck your dick or lick your clit, whichever way rolls, and you roll out. I'm not saying be hostile, but if it made you feel that deeply. Now, most of this stuff was like teachers, like 3rd grade teachers, 8th grade teachers. There was an instance where this teacher got a lot of heat because she literally told them the second to last day, made a video of herself. Was like, oh, by the way, class, tomorrow will be my last day. And it was like, oh. And then all the people were like, that's not how you tell kids. Well, they're like, well, if they were in 3rd grade, I would understand. But these are 8th graders. And I'm like, I understand 8th graders are more mature than 3rd graders. But that's not really going to like, oh, hey, these people can, buy a house, they can apply for real estate. It's free real estate. And then they had audacity to do some like local news reporter on Inside Edition. And one of them who did that video, she did that and she's like, if they were to accept, there was this nurse, right? Her job tried to have her go to a floor that had a lot of patients with a certain virus or disease, or I forgot exactly what it was, but they all had a certain, and they're like, based off her medical history, quote unquote, it was not fair to put her in that situation. It's like, so, okay. So it's okay to put someone else at a medical risk of the same job that you both work at. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but kind of like, it's like, you can't put me in there. I can't get sick. And it's like, most people here can't really afford to get sick either. No one's here trying to get sick, but you're in the hospital all day. Eventually, you're probably going to get sick anyways, But she quit her job with 4 kids. And then she's like, oh, well, I had to do what was morally right and all that. And I'm like, that's great. It's like, but if they were to, but if they were to offer me my job back, I would have to consider it. Like, you have to consider it. Like, you're not the one in the powerful position here, I know a lot of nurses out there, and most of them don't even get paid that much. And that's the unfortunate part. That's really the theme of all this. Nurses and teachers, they don't get paid enough. There's no reason why I should be making more than a nurse or a teacher. Like, I don't do shit. Not literally, but, that's what they'll tell you. I guess I just don't brag about my stuff. You know what? That's what I'm what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start making TikTok and Instagram and YouTube vids while I'm at work. And I'm just gonna record myself every time I do something that no one else does without trying to get the attention of doing. Because a lot of people like to tell, you ever been somewhere and people like to tell everything they do of how hard of a worker they are? Everyone likes to tell you everything extra they did that day. Like, oh, I had to keep shit like I didn't. And then they tell you all about it. And you're just like, I mean, honestly, if you don't do that, what are they paying you for? You lazy bum? Like, it's a lot of people just want, people don't really want like, to do things. People just want to be seen like they're doing something. Like, it's like the quote. The quote's supposed to be the number one, I think it's like integrity is doing what you're supposed to do and doing what's right when no one is looking. And yet, everyone just only wants to do things when people are looking. Or they want to tell you to make sure that even if you're not looking, you fucking know. But yeah. I guess I should just start recording and be like, it would be a lot of, it'd be a lot of memory I'd have to keep track of, but Maybe that's why everyone just record everything, quote unquote, that is extra that you do at work. That's what we should all be doing. Just record everything you do that a quote doesn't get seen. So when you get accused of, we just don't really feel like you're putting effort. You tell them, oh, I wish I could just sit down in the office and sit down on my phone to have time to concern myself about how much effort someone else is not doing, because I don't see how much effort they're actually doing while my lazy bum ass is sitting down on a salary job telling people you're not putting enough effort. But hey, fuck me. As Drake would say, you get an E for effort. But you know what? I don't follow trends. Right? Then they'll wish I didn't bring my phone into work. I'm such a fool. But hey, truth hurts. I love me some nice copper fit, especially when it's magnetized into some thick thighs. Electrocuted, baby. Tase me like I'm on the run. Tase and put me in a gaze, like the gaze. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, I guess the moral of all that is, if you're going to quit your job, do it like a boss. Don't be this 2-week notice guy. Unless you actually want to go back and it's just like circumstances and stuff. But don't make a big thing about like how you're like leaving the corporate world. Which everyone says corporate world. It's like, you work at Starbucks. What are you talking about the corporate world? Like, you don't do the corporate part. Like, people just be calling everything corporate, by the way. It's like technically everything is a corporation. But like, you don't work in the corporate part. But everyone works in corporate when they talk about quitting their corporate job, It sounds better. It sounds like you're leaving a job of significance that's going to be harder to replace you. But I don't know. I'm a fool. I'm a fool with the kiddie pool. Me, meow. Speaking of, where is that rat bastard? Oh, there she is, hiding in the vortex. Playpen. Oh, girl, I play in your pen, 'cause I be writing bars to see what time you're in. Damn, someone is really coughing outside. They're getting high as fuck. But anyways, yeah. So, two Jews walk in a bar. I actually don't remember many of those jokes. Now I understand if you make a two Jews walk into a bar joke, though, it would not work out too well. But I don't know, when I was younger, everyone had a two Jews walk into a bar. And I didn't get it because I didn't have this obsession with people's religion or the understanding of why two Jews walking in a bar would be significant. I think it would be like two Jews walking in a bar and now they own it. I think that would be part of a joke, and I never really got it. But then you get older. The only reason why, because now people, you listen to certain comedy, you understand conspiracies and all this stuff. It's like, oh, it's really like a deeper underlying issue, right? But people only complain when they can't actually buy the bar, right? If you Yodi Yom Kippur, bitch. Is that, no, that's not Jewish. Yom Kippur, I think, is, wait, Kwanzaa. No, because Hanukkah is Jewish. Kwanzaa, I think, is Jewish. Jewish just owns it all. I don't know. They own all the holidays, even Christmas. Who do you think is profiting off Christmas? Who do you think owns these department stores? I don't know, but I guess it would make sense. But they got nice soft t-shirts that they make in their little, and they're really coughing up upstairs. Either they're getting high or the sage is making them. I'm not even kidding. I think you're killing them. Sorry, that was a little off script. Not that this thing's scripted, but hey, you know what? If they die, they die. That's what the guy said in Rocky 4, right? If he dies, he dies. And in one of the Rockies, he did die. Like, he did die. It wasn't the dude he intended, but actually it may have been. I'm actually trying to catch up with Rocky. I watched Rocky 1 because, that's the thing with, like, older movies that my dad used to play. Like, when you're younger, you, like, it's on, but you're not really, like, processing, listening. Then you get older, like, you're aware of it. I'm aware of, like, the main stuff. But actually watching it throughout, like, man, this is actually a really good, interesting, well put together movie. But the thing is, like, audio is fucking terrible. Like, everything is like, it sounds like a Bruce Lee House of Dragon 1968 movie when they're doing fake karate. It's like, boom, boom, boom. But it's like so good. And it just goes to show that we have come a long way with production. We have come a long way with quality. How many asswipes in their home in 1976 think they could do what I do? Well, they probably thought they could do it, but, they decided to smack their wife up the head instead for making runny mashed potatoes. You never put butter and salt in it. By the way, fair point. I wonder who was the first wife to make loaded mashed potatoes. Like, whoever was the first wife to do that, that man either, like, gave them the world or he like put cyanide. That bit, like, where'd you learn this from? Because everyone just only put salt, pepper, and more salt. And then there was some woman that was just while her husband was coming home, and he comes home is like, what is it, sour cream? What's this green stuff? Oh, it's some chives I diced in. What is it, bacon? Yeah, bacon and cheese and... Did I mention sour? Yep, I see that. And he mixed it all together and he's like, you dumb bitch! That's the day I knew I couldn't lose her. Because, it's like, she might become a famous chef one day. And back in those days, you couldn't have, a woman with more status than you. So you had to keep her in her place, right? Hey, I'm not saying I believe in this. But, I have elders that tell stories. Hey, man, it's out of the world where don't blame me. Nowadays, girls don't even know where potatoes are in the grocery store. They used to advertise like specific foods, like russet potatoes. I remember like Kroger used to have these advertisements on the radio and TV. It'd be like, russet potatoes for $1.85 a pound, and they would go through all these listings. And now it's like, just go to they don't do no commercials for any fucking specials. You just go there, and then you just get the same shit. I don't know. Nowadays, everyone's just lazy fucks and goes to Whole Foods and then overprice and weighs their fucking food. Like, why the fuck? Like, who created the scale? I tip the scale to weigh my options. Yeah. It's ironic it's called Whole Foods. But when you go to the scooping part, you can never actually buy the food whole. Some deep thinking. Oh, Jesus. But yeah. It's an incredible life. And I just sit there wondering how I get by day. Did you know Wheaties were made to prevent masturbation? That's the thing actually I heard a while back. So, Wheaties, the Kellogg's guy, part of the cornflakes and Wheaties to begin with, mainly cornflakes. Cornflakes were to help prevent sexual deviancy, specifically masturbation. Can't make this shit up. I forgot the specific details of the point, but it was because apparently masturbation, it creates a lot of mischievous behavior because it creates that ultra world outside of yourself, which is kind of an interesting thing. I don't think it's crazy to think that someone who masturbates all the time, you're always putting your mind everywhere else. So your sexual connection is never actually real with even if you're with a person or not, your sexual connection is never in tune or real. So if you're always masturbating, fantasizing all the time, you're always kind of in this whole different world. Now, I don't know how cornflakes has anything. I don't know how cornflakes is going to help with that. I guess because it's so bland, it makes you hate your life. So you don't have anything to think about worth thinking about. But, they're more than good. That booty's great. That's what really Tony the Tiger is. Oh, girl, you put some stripes on my belt. That's why there's so much goddamn sugar in that thing. Because, boy, that thing makes you lick your tongue a couple times. That's really, when you're drinking the milk, that's really like how these cereals get you connected. It's not, the food's whatever. It's when you get to the milk. Most people eat Cocoa Puffs, Tricks, anything because they want to see the color and taste that sugary, cereally, dusty-ass milk. So dusty and crumbly that typically gets in your throat like, you actually cough a little bit. But that's what keeps the kids coming back, right? That's what keeps the kids cereal. And by the way, cereal prices are fucking insane. It's the biggest ripoff in the history of anything. Like, literally now you just get a standard box. It's like $4.79 at the cheapest for like some basic ass, cheapest Golden Grams shit. It's probably like $3.99. It's the biggest fucking ripoff in his. There's some that are like $5 for something that's like 3.5 bowls and you buy the milk. It's a monopoly. But cornflakes are supposed to prevent sexual deviancy, and I'll say this: most people that are eating cornflakes I know, they either can't get it up anyways, or they're not really getting any anyway. So it does prevent sexual deviancy. No reasonable person that actually wants to enjoy things in life is getting cornflakes. When there's a whole aisle. Like, really, cereal can just be half an aisle. They really over-exaggerate. Like, Cheerios. No one gets Cheerios. Cheerio. Everyone, like, Honey Nut is whatever. The best Cheerios is that frosted Cheerios. Sorry, my mind went places. I was having a cereal killer sexual fantasy. Just imagine like a whole cereal, like someone out there is making a cereal animation orgy right now. You got the Captain Crunch guy. You got some bees stinging fucking Toucan Sam's butthole. You got the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, whatever the fuck he is, Big Bird. He's like a big, I don't know, mixed bird. Just imagine if, like, while you're sipping the Cocoa Puff milk, he's like, surprise, bitch. And then you got, like, all the cereals. You have Tony the Tiger. He is definitely going bear mode. He is definitely a power bottom. Let's not. Oh, it's great. I mean, like, every cereal has, even Special K. I don't know what theirs is. Yeah. It probably means ketamines in it. They should just have Polydine. Polydine seems like the perfect Special K. I don't know why. It just does. It's that Southern delight. But yeah, you go down the aisle. You have the Captain Crunch. You have the Reese's Puffs. All these logos. Just imagine someone making a sexual orgy of them. And they're just all squirting their milk that they cause at each other. Right? And they use the crispy cereal pieces as like they're going to war. So it's just a big battlefield of milky cream orgy with their protective cereal thing. It's just a battlefield of sugary, chocolatey, peanut buttery, fruity. Tony the Tiger really likes that Fruit Loop, huh? He's just in there hula hooping like he's on a gay cruise. But that's like, anyone that's ever, accidentally come across one of these explicit sexual sites, you'll come across where you'll see a video that'll be like, Marge takes it up the ass from, Flanders. And it's like, do I want to watch this? I was just watching some standard stuff. Do I want to watch a cartoon of Flanders giving it to Marge? I've never found Marge attractive. Not in the blue hair. Blue is the warmest color, especially if it's inside your booty hole. Oh. And Flanders is all about, Christ and Jesus and the church, but yet you never see his wife. Probably has her buried somewhere. The kids are always around. My theory is, I think he killed his wife in front of the kids, and that's why the kids think just like him. I think Flanders is really supposed to be a reflection of, like, a serial killer. See how it all connects? He's supposed to be a reflection of, like, an actual serial killer, but disguised as the perfect dad, the perfect morals and all that. Am I crazy? Like, I don't think it's crazy. But, but, yeah. You know what they say. Pew, pew. Yeah. That's how life be. You just be dipping your toes in the water, and Piranha 3D gets made. Which, if I got bit by a piranha on my foot, probably just even out my strength. But, yeah. Big titties. Hey, you got big titties, eh? Oh, yeah, and I forgot the Lucky Charms guy, he's out here. Like, Leprechaun, the movie, the scary-ass fucking movie, that movie scares me more than anything. Little-ass motherfuckers that can just kill you. Like, if I died by a thing that was 3 foot, like, my kids should be embarrassed of me. Like, it's like, you got killed by this pot of gold, motherfucker? Like, and then, as punishment, he's going to sit there and be pouring you Lucky Charms all fucking day. And, be stabbing you with this pot of gold. Imagine if they made, like, just imagine it's like someone, we have hackers. What if someone hacked Kellogg's and their cereal box manufacturer and just put random ass fucking logos on these boxes? And they had the actual, like, leprechaun from the Leprechaun movie on these Lucky Charm boxes. Then when these kids go down the aisle, they're like, ah! And for some reason, watching the one Leprechaun movie, Why, that scene, the thing is, like, as the Leprechaun movies got by, they made it more like it was like funny movies, but not on purpose. Like when they got to the back, when they Leprechaun in the Hood, I don't think whoever made Leprechaun to start out ever thought it would go to being in the hood type of thing. But him dealing with like drug dealers and gangbangers, that shit was like, it was ironically funny. Like, and the weird is like, why the fuck am I watching this guy going to the inner city? Like, dealing with this shit. Like, but that Leprechaun gives you nightmares, man. Speaking of nightmares, there was something happened last night. True story. I'm going to look this up. But I felt this, like when you're asleep and then like you're in a very like deep in the story sleep, like you feel like you're in it. And like you feel like your like eyes are kind of waking up, but you don't know if you're actually waking up or you're still in the dream, waking up within the dream. And I just felt, and it's happened before, and I notice that happens when I'm having certain dreams about specific things. And it just felt like this big wind, like wind gust, almost like an angelic cloud of wind just going over my face. And it feels like I'm just in this high pressured skydiving cloud, but I'm in my sleep. And I'm afraid to wake up, so I just stay asleep. I don't know if it's like some spiritual shit. I don't know if it's some like I'm having some, connections in my dream. But that shit, it's happened a few times. And I don't know if it's just like when I'm getting good sleep, that good. I don't know if it's just like, if it's this wave of whatever, or if it's just me being a pussy. But yeah, it's true. Like, and someone's going to come and someone's going to say like, oh, you probably have spirits around you and stuff. And I don't know. When I have these situations, I think it could be something. But I'm really like scared to even access or talk about that stuff, because you speak about it could possibly be real. And sometimes the best thing to not acknowledge something's real is just by not acknowledging it. But it's weird, like having this, like you just feel like you're laying down and you just feel like this. It's almost like you're being lifted from the bed, but it's just like this big wind that's just going over your body, and you're afraid to wake up because of the sleep you're having, the dream you're having, and you don't know if you're waking up to something that's still the dream, and you don't want to see what may be revealed, or if you're actually going to wake up and it might be real. I don't know. It's just like this big wind burst I felt. But yeah, any jizzaboo. I think I'm going to stop it there. It feels like a good time to stop, because I got to shit. That was episode 247 of the Often Be podcast with Clint Nelson. I'm your host, Clint Nelson. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button. Most important, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if I said this at the beginning of the episode, but don't forget to suck some titties. Yeah. But yeah, have a great day, night, morning, evening. And if you feel a little wind gusts when you're in a deep sleep and the sleep is intense, call me. Because we're having the same dream.